Hi everyone, my name is JT Pilot, and today we'll be making another video. This time we'll be covering the latest news in 1/4 scale die-cast model aircraft. And yes, this is for June of 2024, and yes, you may notice there is a slightly new format to the news video. I just want to make the thumbnail look a little bit better, and plus this video should be more organized. So, yes, I changed up the format just a little bit. Hopefully you guys like it. So, yes, so for June of this year, it hasn't been as eventful as the previous months. We have still gotten some news though, but we have not gotten any releases from Gemini yet, surprisingly enough. So they will be absent from this video, except for one part. And while NG Models has announced several new releases and several new molds, which is really exciting, we'll be covering that in today's video. So nonetheless, let's get started off with the NG Models news. So starting off with what's going on with NG Models. So they have announced their new June 2024 release set. So yeah, and there's lots of exciting models, including debut of their Boeing 767. So we'll be covering some of the highlights, including this model right here, which is the NG model of American Airlines Boeing 767-200. So this model's looking flat out amazing. In the CGI image at least. So I'll be definitely purchasing this model. And it's grateful to have a new 767-200 mold at long last. The 767-200 has been really under the 767-200 hasn't been made too much in one form. It's been well underutilized from the current 767-200 releases have been underutilized from the manufacturers. So hopefully we'll get some more 767-200 releases coming up soon from NG. It's the Aeroclasics after all. And NG Models has announced several Delta 767-300 ERs in the standard livery. So there's one with CF6 engines and one with the Pratt & Whitney engine. So those are going to be really exciting releases there. I will be purchasing one of them, and I'll be comparing it with the Gemini disc version. So that's going to be really exciting. It's great to have another Delta 767-300 in the 1/4 scale, even though Gemini disc has done their fair share of them. But at least NG Models mold should be a little bit better than the Gemini mold. So, yeah. And the next new release from NG Models in their June set is the United 767-400 in the Evo Blue livery. This is an exciting release if Pana didn't already release a really excellent quality one. So, yes, but it's great that guests have another one in the 1/4 scale for anybody that missed out on the Pana Models release. So, that is a fairly good release there. And NG Models has announced NG Models has announced two Boeing House livery 747-MAX 7s as well in their release set. So these are going to be good releases there. Not going to be purchasing these though, just because these are a prototype aircraft. And yeah, I don't really collect prototypes, so that is the main reason why I'm not purchasing those. And then here is the rest of the releases. So yes, overall, lots of Chinese models, a little too many. You got the China Southern A350s. You got all the Hainan Airlines 747s, including all their subsidiaries. So yeah, that's too many of those. And then they also announced a few Korean Air 777-300 in the the Expo livery there. So there you go. I think it's like the Blackpink livery, something like that. So yeah, I know a lot of people aren't a big fan of those releases just because they want a normal Korean 777. I'm sure NG Models will get around to it though, because they probably produce the special livery version and the normal livery version at the same time. And NG Models has also announced several KLM 777s in the orange Pride livery. Every other manufacturer's done this, and those are not too exciting. And then the rest of the releases are just pretty mediocre. And we got some more NG news, and they have started a brand new brand, which is called NG Models Lite. So basically, this brand they're basically using they're basically making models to sell for a cheaper price for people that have lower incomes, and especially in like developing markets across the globe. And their first release will be a Boeing 747-100 in the prototype livery. And NG Lite models basically have no antennas in it. It may not have rolling landing gear, but they still have all the details of regular NG models, and they can be at the fraction of NG models' normal pricing. Because this 747-100 is the same price as a narrow body NG models. I believe it'll be retailing at around $45 US. So that's really exciting for any collectors interested. And NG will be doing a normal release of this aircraft. The reason why they're doing an NG Lite version is just because some of the mold isn't refined yet. There's still a few issues with it according to some collectors. I think it looks great, but there's still some issues according to collectors. So NG Models is making a refined version, and they should be releasing that in September of this year, according to NG. I know that people have asked about that, so I'll probably be getting these refined version just for review. This model does look great, though. You know, it does look really great. All I gotta say, I know the engine's gonna use some detailing. I think the nose cone area could be a little bit shaped better, but other than that, NG Light is a new brand, and maybe NG models will utilize this brand. We'll have to see. Yes, I have a feeling that any models that NG screws up, they're probably just gonna put them under NG Light and sell them at a discounted price. Because yeah, what else are they gonna do with stock that they actually screwed up on? So instead of throwing out the models, they're just gonna sell them at a cheaper price. So I know there'll still be some collectors' interest in that, so that's exciting to see from NG. And NG Models has released their final 767 samples, and they were available for redemption on NG's website. That the redemption period has ended, though. So here's what the new 767s look like, and we'll go into more depth, including this first 767, which is the NG Models 767-200. So the 767s all look great in my opinion. The window line is a little high on them though, and the cockpit windows could be shaped better. But other than that, they're looking great. So here's the 767-200, the 767-300 with winglets, and here's another one. So they have the two different engine configurations, and then these Boeing 767-400. And all these have the same sort of issues. So there you go. And I believe the 767-400 is missing some details, especially on the wing region, I do believe. And then we got a new brand in 1/4 scale, which is Patriot models, and they have announced their June set, which they'll be releasing some. They'll be also announcing their own Boeing 747-400 testbed aircraft, and they will be announcing the KC-33 version as well. And this is an HX Models brand, so there you go. So it's exciting to see a new brand in 1/4 scale, and in HX Models and YY Models all looked good in the past. Those two brands are the exact same. They just renamed themselves. So yes, I have seen some releases. Maybe I'll get one for review. They really did a nice Lufthansa 747-8, so I may have to go for that and purchase that model, even though I can only get it from China. But if you guys want to see a review of that, I may review it, because their models are actually really good quality, surprisingly enough. So and they're based out of a former JC Wings factory, so they do have some former JC Wings employees. So yes, they're gonna be hopefully be a good model manufacturer. I really love this box art there for the releases. Yeah. Yeah, credit to Eric Page, because that is his box art up there. So there you go. This is a good release there. And then JC Wings has announced their July releases, and there's some good models in here. It's a slightly better set. The future releases are better than the actual models, but they announced a Royal Bahrain flight, Boeing 767-400. So that testbed aircraft turned into a private aircraft has finally been released in 1/400. So all the 767-400 operators have been covered in 1/400, which is really cool. But the JC Wing 767-400 mold is pretty poor. But still good to see the release of it. Still good release choice in my opinion. Other good releases in that set, the Malta Air Max A200 is a good release there. So that's a good JC Wings release. The TWA MD-80 is a good release. I'm sure that's been sitting around in factories. It was probably produced at the same time as the Gemini disc version that was released, I believe, a year or two ago. So yeah, but the future releases is really where the set stands out the most to me. Some of the highlights from the future releases include the Scandinavian A320. That's going to be a really solid release for European collectors, and it has the IAE engines, which will make the mold 10 times better than some of the other JC A320s, just because the engines will be the proper size. And the only main issue with them will probably be the cockpit windows. They'll also announce a Varig 737-200. That's going to be a good release. They've also announced some models that others will probably get to, like the Japan Airlines 77-8 in that special livery, the Ethiopian A350-1000, their very first A350-1000, and the Go Canada Go 777-300ER from Air Canada. So those models will probably be released by other manufacturers. I know Aviation Furniture has just announced those, so yeah, and it'll take forever for JC to get to them. But my main favorite model from this set from JC is the Aerojet Boeing 737-MAX 8 in the Domingo special livery, so something like that. Yeah, and that is going to be a really great model there. And yeah, I might get that model if nobody else releases it by the time the JC version comes out. It'll take JC forever to get to that model, though, sadly. Maybe NG release some Aerojet models. I really want Aerojet in my collection. They're such a cool Caribbean airline. Really love their livery. It's something different. NE-1 scale. And then the Austrian 787-9 is also a good release from JC, but it is a future release, so it'll take them forever, and manufacturers like Aviation 400 and NG will probably get to it before JC does. Aviation 400 is also announced it as a future release, but at least their future releases come out a little bit in a shorter time period than JC Wings, so yeah, because JC Wings, it may take 2, 3, 5, even 7 years for a model of theirs to come out, so yeah, it may take a long time. And then Crickets, no Gemini Jets July yet, so that is pretty unfortunate there. I was expecting them to release a July set, so that's why I was holding on making this video, but Gemini Jets has not released a July set yet, so we'll be seeing what that entails in the July news video. So they did combine their May set with a June set, so they renamed the May set to May/June, so I guess they'd delay their July set for whatever reason, maybe because of the Airliners International was my guess, so they didn't want to release that in the same day as that, if I had to guess. So, yeah, that would have been cool, though. I did not go to that, but maybe next year I will. But, yeah, so Gemini just has released their May/June photos, and there's some disappointments in here, including this model right here, the Air France 777-300ER. And as it's in the last news video, I will be purchasing this model, but I've kind of reversed my decision now, just because it's on the older Gemini Jets mold, and I don't get why. I do know why they're releasing this. It's because this model's been staying around in the factory for 4 or 5 years. But it's a head scratcher for me, at least, because there's so many other better Air France 777s now on the market, from likes of like Aviation 400. The new JC mold's better. NG Miles' mold is better. Even the Phoenix mold is better than this. Well, there's so much more better 777s in today. I don't get why Gemini just decided to release this old mold Air France 777. They should have released this years ago. The main issues with this model is just the cradle seam is really large. The nose landing gear is way too long. I did have a Gemini just old mold 777, and it was pretty bad. This is the American 777, which I did not like, so I did sell that and replace it with the NG version. But don't get why we're seeing this still from this mold still coming out from Gemini Jets. It's just crazy. I don't get why they have models sitting around their factories for 5 years, because they started using the JC mold in 2021, in case you're wondering. So, yeah, so that's a disappointment there from Gemini Jets. But some other models in this set turned out pretty good. The Air India A350 turned out pretty well. It's not as good as the NG version I just reviewed, but it's still a good model nonetheless. And then the Go Cougs Alaska E175 looks flat out amazing. The Delta Sky Team 7600-400, and it looks okay. It's just okay. That's all I gotta really say. That mold is not good. It's just not good. Just because of the cradle seam. The cradle seam, the wings are just the wrong shape. The tail cone is just the wrong shape. The nose landing gear is too short, and sometimes tilts up. So that's pretty unfortunate there. So yeah, that's kind of a janky mold there. The Eastern Express Saab 340 build looks flat out amazing, and if I did collect retro aircraft, I'd definitely get this model. It's like cute, not cute. I would say this is, really nice small regional airliner. And you have the ITA Airways Airbus A330-900 Neo from Gemini Jets. That's looking like a decent model there. May get that model in the future. And the Lufthansa 747, again, Gemini Jets is using the old 747 mold. Tell by that scene there, that's just disappointing there. Disappointing effort. Another model that's been staying there for 5 years. And Aeroclasics has announced their own June releases. And here is their June releases. And no models I won't be getting any of these just because I don't really collect retro aircraft, but these are some cool releases, including the U.S. Postal Service 727 there. That's 200, so that's a really great release there. I believe that model is already sold out. A few they've released a few DC-9s, including a North Central one, which I know one collector really enjoys that one. I know one collector that really enjoyed that release. And then they announced a Republic Air DC-9, any Continental DC-9. Those are going to be great releases there. And overall, this is a pretty good Aeroclasics release set. So there is the releases for you guys. And proceeding on to Aviation 400's July 2024 releases. So they announced a July set in June, so that's really exciting. So grateful to feature Aviation 400 again. So they announced an Air Senegal A330-900 Neo. So, of course, when I did the Baltimore update, there's no Air Senegal model. But now that Aviation 400 decided to release one, so maybe we'll have to return to that airport update, that Rainbow Airport, just to include this model. but Air Senegal no longer flies there. But this is a model that I may get in the future. We'll have to see. It'd be a really cool African model to have in the collection. And yeah, an Aviation 400's A330-900 Neo well, it looks better than some of their previous A330-900 Neo offerings. So yeah, overall looks better in my opinion. So I may have to get one of these for a review. They also announced a Delta A330-900 Neo. We've been seeing a ton of Delta A330 Neos recently in 1400. Gemini just did one. NG Models did one in the normal livery and one in the Team USA livery. And there's actually multiple NG versions, so there you go. And now Aviation 400 is throwing their hat in the ring, and they're doing a release as well. So I won't be getting this model though, just because I already had the NG version, and I don't really need another Delta A330-900 Neo in the collection, because if I were to get this model, it would be my third Delta A330-900 Neo. It's an aircraft that don't really need in my collection, so yeah, so I'll be passing on that model. You got a Corsair A330-900 Neo, so that is a good release there. Then they announced a Qantas 77-9, so I will definitely be purchasing this model to finally have a Qantas model in the collection. It's an airline that I've, for the longest time, did not have in my collection, so it was a surprising one. Yeah, so we'll be getting this model for review, so stay tuned. So I'm sure this model will just be flat amazing, just like the rest of Aviation 477s I've reviewed recently. And Aviation 400 has also announced an American 77-9, which I'll be also getting. And the American livery is looking flat out amazing on this model, so that's good to see. And the mold's fantastic, so I'll definitely be purchasing this model as well. But here is the rest of the release set. So a lot of these models you won't be seeing for quite a while, just because they're future releases. So the models I just went over will be all arriving to retailers shortly. So they all have real life images of them. So they have now left the factory, and they should hopefully be getting shipped out to retailers soon. So so some of the other models in this release set that sparked some interest, in my opinion, are the Ethiopian A50-1000. So I may get them all in the future. We'll have to see, but that's a future release. And then the Japan 77-8. So once again, that Expo 2025 livery there. So yeah, there's Aviation 400's version. So that's gonna be a good model, better than the JC version. And then the China 7850. So another one of those. So I may get that model as well. So we'll have to see. But overall, this is a good Aviation 400 release set. And here is my picks from June of 2024. So only 4 miles this month. So it's a pretty quiet month for me at least. So it's good month to save some money. So I'll be getting the American 767-200 from NG, the Delta 767-300 from NG, and yeah, it'll be great to review the new NG 767 mold. And I'll be also getting the Qantas 77-9 and the American 77-9 from Aviation 400. And that is it for this news video. So subscribe to my YouTube channel. Let's get to 2,000 subscribers, and follow my Instagram account, which is JT_pilot_YT. So nonetheless, that's it for this news video, and I'm JT Pilot, and I'd like to thank you all so much for watching this video, and have a wonderful day.